I'm not here to have a competition with your grandma. Now, if she wants a foot race, I'll probably, like clip her foot with I'm competitive, all right? So keep your grandma away from me. What's up, everybody? Today, I'm gonna show you a technique to make the classic frijoles de la olla that we used to make in our family. Frijoles de la olla literally translates to beans in a pot or beans from a pot. Every family has their own recipe. I'm gonna show you the way I like to do them. In my family, we always use pinto beans, but because of the translation, you can literally use any beans that you want. You can use black beans, mayacoba. Some people have a debate about whether to soak them overnight or not to soak them. I do it to mine because that's how I grew up having them. And honestly, it's just a better result. I'm gonna open this bag of beans. I'm just gonna get it out on a sheet tray. All right, just get them out. And here, I remember my grandmother would make all my cousins and I sit around the table, like around breakfast time, and pick through. She'd give us about a cup of beans each, and we'd have to pick through them to make sure there was no rocks. And we'd put them all in a bowl, and then she would start cooking the beans. So it was like a family thing. But it's something I like to do. I already know the quality of Rancho Gordo is incredible, and I know that there's not gonna be any rocks in here, but it's good practice to kind of pick out any beans that are like broken or bits of them. We got some broken bean in there, but these look incredible. They're such great quality. Don't go crazy over this, but it is a nice way to kind of start this recipe. Okay, to soak our beans, real simple. You want enough room or a container with enough clearance to make sure that they're not overcrowded and the beans don't soak up all this water and are fermenting overnight. We don't want that. Being careful, I'm gonna transfer beans into the container. Like that. There we go. Now, to these beans, I'm gonna add 2 liters of water and about 15 grams of kosher salt. I'm using Diamond Crystal. But the rule of thumb is about a tablespoon of salt per liter of water, and that should get you a good ratio. And the reason I like doing salt in here, kind of plumps up the beans. Some people say, oh, don't season them too early because they're gonna be tough. I hear that, maybe on the cook that applies, but here, trust me, these beans are incredible. Water goes in. Now you can see why we pick a container that's big enough. All right, and salt goes in. And all we're gonna do is take a little spoon and mix this up to dissolve that salt. Beans are gonna get covered and they're gonna soak overnight. Tomorrow, we're gonna cook these with a bunch of air mats. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Very simple. I will see you guys tomorrow for the finished frijoles de la olla. Peace. What's up, everybody? It is day 2 of our frijoles de la olla, and I want to show you guys what soaking does to the beans. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the beans are super plump and they've absorbed a lot of liquid. But what I look for as well when on the soak is, pop this open, even like feeling them like this, they've plumped up a bit and they have softened on the outside. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna cut down your cooking time in the pot. It's gonna make it a little bit more even. Like I said about the black beans, I really don't soak the black beans, and there's a bunch of other beans that I'd be like, I don't really wanna soak those, just because they just have a different structure. But these pintos, I have always found that I have better success and better cook when I soak them. So all we're gonna do here is we're gonna strain these off. And again, we used 2 liters of water per 1 pound of beans, and I think it was like 15 grams of salt. The recipe will be down below though. So I will strain these off, and then they're gonna go into our pot here. I really wouldn't use the bean soaking liquid for anything. It's just water, salt, and bean water. So we're gonna toss this out. So we're gonna start flavoring the broth. That is arguably one of the most important parts about frijoles de la olla. It's just something that we always had on the stove at my grandma's house. My grandpa would actually cook beans all the time. He was a carpenter, and he'd come in from working in the garage, and he would sit down for lunch, and he would serve himself these with a little queso, tortillas, and a salsita, or chilito as he called it. So I have a couple of seasonings here. Again, very simple stuff that I'm gonna use for my beans. So we'll start with, I like onion in my beans. So I do, we'll feel it out here, but I'm gonna cut this white onion in half. Okay. And I'll take some peel off of it. I don't wanna fish around for this later. But I think like a quarter of a white onion for this amount of beans is great. So for the garlic, I'm just gonna take my knife and then just pop it open like that. I mean, I'm smashing this. I shouldn't really smash it, but it's not the biggest deal. Yeah, we're just gonna peel our garlic. We're gonna toss it in this pot here. And you could go more onion, more garlic, less garlic, whatever you want really. So let's talk about seasonings. Oh my God. So this herb here is called epazote. It honestly smells very like petrol-y, almost like gasoline. I know I'm not selling it, but this is almost an essential flavor to a lot of beans. And I'm going, you know, pretty heavy on it here. Epazote, it's said to prevent flatulence. So if you're like having a clumps moment at the table and you're just like ripping ass, you know, helps out. You know, is it true? I'm not a scientist. That's above my pay grade. But I do know this. It's one of the best flavors for beans and food in general. Like epazote and black beans, so good. Some fresh bay leaves. Honestly, I don't want to talk crap about bay leaves, but what do they do really? They just kind of show up to the party empty-handed. I'm kidding. Bay leaf ice cream, fire, love it. And then a move that I like to do, a nice little move, is some manteca. Manteca goes in, so this is just pork lard. So now, I wanna talk about the two other ingredients that I'm gonna use to flavor this. We're not gonna throw them in the pot yet because it'll toughen up the beans, it's said, to salt them too early. I'm a superstitious person. My grandma said that, my mom said that. Is it true? Again, above my pay grade. But we're gonna season with some sal de colima. The minerality, the crunch on this is delicious. Yeah, I think it's like very fitting to cook with the beans. And a little curveball for everyone out there is a little bit of MSG. And that's gonna provide us like this very savory umami note for these beans. Again, simple recipe, sum of its parts, but it's greater than the sum of its parts. We're gonna season this to our liking, and I promise you, it's some of the best beans are done simply, okay? So to this pot, I'm adding some water. This is about 2 liters per recipe. I'm gonna need a little bit more, it looks like, because I like my beans soupy. All right, in with the rest of our water. So I got 3 liters in here. That'll be all right, we'll be good. Looks great. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna get these on the stove covered, kinda let it kinda cook until it starts steaming, comes up to a simmer. We'll skim them at that point. And honestly, it's just kind of smooth riding until we have to like season it later. Put them on the stove. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. Our beans are up to a simmer. I'm looking at the water right now. It really doesn't need to skim. I'll show you in a second. But I like just to make sure that nothing's sticking at the bottom. Again, these are simmered beans. You don't really want any color on them. It'd be tough to burn these. Okay, so don't burn your frijoles at olla. All right, we're gonna mix this around and I'm gonna cover it with a lid, okay? And these are just gonna cook on medium-low heat. Again, just like kind of like a gentle bubble. We're just gonna let these simmer until they're almost cooked, and at that point we'll season them, let them cook a little longer, and frijoles de la olla will be done. See you in a bit. All right, everybody, our beans have been simmering for about an hour. I'm gonna take this off here. And they're smelling so good. And I could see like all this manteca, this lard around the edge, just kind of flavoring, getting emulsified in the broth, making it extra rich. Oh man, so good. Literally childhood right here, it's so good. And look at the quality of these beans. So they're looking really nice right here. You could tell they're almost tender. I'm gonna take a little. They're almost there. At this point, I'm happy to season these and get them kind of like where they're gonna be before serving. You don't wanna over salt them because your broth's gonna be super salty. Nobody likes salty beans. So I'm using my sal de colima. I'm gonna need about two tablespoons. And this isn't like regular kosher salt where it's extra salty. This is like more crunchy. It's almost like a finishing salt. And I love it because you can see like the little minerals in there too, and the texture is incredible. You can definitely use just regular kosher salt for this. So I'm gonna stir that around. We just added our salt in. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of our secret ingredient, the MSG. About, looks like a half a teaspoon. But the recipe, like I said, will be down below. And you can do it to your liking. You don't have to add MSG. I just like the different flavor it brings. Again, this is like a recipe that's greater than the sum of its parts. So any little help it can get, the better. The look of this broth though is so beautiful, to me at least. It's like that old song, "You are so beautiful to me." It's like, dog, you had to add that at the end? You couldn't just say she's beautiful? Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? You are so beautiful. to me. Man. Ooh, that's so good. That little salt and the MSG just did wonders to this thing. So at this point, I'm gonna close this back up and we're gonna get it back on the stove, very, very low heat, to just kind of keep cooking, but not really getting overcooked. They're just keeping warm. All right, beans are ready. Coming off the stove, they smell incredible. It's time to serve them up. This isn't a real complicated recipe, but it's a foundation of Mexican cooking. Knowing how to cook beans properly is essential. Everyone has their own way to do it, right? Some people will look at this and be like, manteca, like, no way, that we never did it like this. And you're right. You're right. If your grandma made it some way, I'm not here to have a competition with your grandma. Now, if she wants a foot race, she would probably still beat me. But I'll put my effort and I'll probably, like clip her foot with I'm competitive, all right? So keep your grandma away from me. Anyway, we're gonna plate this up. Our frijoles are looking and smelling. You have to what am I doing? You have to ladle this toward your face. Oh man, look at that. The beans are beautiful. They are gorgeous. I know it's like saying like beans are beautiful, but I see them. They're beautiful to me, baby. You want me to say? Look at this. I don't want that much, honestly. That looks like a great plate of frijolitos to me. And this reminds me so much of childhood, man. Like, I remember, my grandpa is from Arandas, Jalisco, and he used to work the fields. We have an agave farm. My uncles still run it. But yeah, this was his lunch pretty much. Is like quesito fresco, una salsita, or chilito as he called it. And of course, no podría faltar. This could never be left out. This is chilito a mordidas. And he would grow his own chiles in his yard. As one of his favorite things to do is tend the garden. And of course, you can't forget the tortillas. So yeah, this is how we used to eat it as kids. It's a special recipe. It's something that, like I said, if you're gonna be cooking Mexican food, you have to learn how to make beans. You can't cook Mexican food without making proper beans. Here's what we're gonna do. We'll do it like he used to do it. He used to take his tortilla like so, roll it up. He would take a bite of quesito. Memories, man. It's what food does to you. It brings people back that aren't there anymore. This is literally incredible. Sorry, I'm getting like choked up, dude. But this is like one of those things that, ooh, man, that's tough. This reminds me of my grandpa a lot. Share a story with you guys. Part of the reason I started cooking was because my dad's mother, my grandmother, we lost her in like 2010. I was like 19 years old. And his father, my grandfather, my papawe, lost the person that would basically take care of him. It was very old school, like cook. She cooked 3 square meals a day for the whole family. That was her thing, but it was her joy. And when the family lost her, the recipes died with her. And I remember having him at the family restaurant, and I would take it upon myself to cook him lunch from memory of recipes that she would make. And it taught me how to cook her food, or attempt to. And we bonded. My grandfather and I bonded. And yeah, this is a recipe that is so simple, but it's so special to me. And I just took these couple bites and immediately I was a 5-year-old kid sitting at the table helping my grandmother pick beans. But this is what food does. And this is why I never tell somebody, oh, that's not the way to do it. It's like, dude, my grandma did it this way. And I might be long-winded right now, but dude, that's what food's about for me. Food is about evoking nostalgia, a feeling, a person, a place. That's what food does. It's food memory. But make this. These are incredible. Sorry for getting emotional. But these are some of my favorite things to make and eat. I gotta get another bite. So simple, so delicious. This is a winning combo, man. Con el chilito a mordidas, mira. Yeah. There's nothing else to say about this. This is just simple, Mexicano, delicious food. Guys, that has been Frijoles de la Olla my way. Make them your own. As always, I appreciate you guys watching this. Definitely make these. They're very cool. They're very easy to make. You can add, subtract, whatever you want to these. I appreciate you guys being here. If you liked the video, like it, hit subscribe if you want to see more of me. But if not, I hope you really enjoyed making this recipe with me. I hope you guys make it at home. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.